Once again, the game journalists prove that they have zero credibility when it comes to talking about games. To absolutely no one's surprise, these shills came out in full force to shower Ghost of Yotei with praise, while at the same time smearing Ananta, calling it a copycat for having swinging mechanics similar to Spider-Man games. I mean, do these guys have hemorrhoids for a brain? If that was such a big problem, PlayStation wouldn't have posted the gameplay footage on their own official YouTube channel. Anyways, don't want to get sidetracked here, so more on that in just a bit. Now the thing is, these game journalists are acting like Ghost of Yotei is the best thing ever. And it might as well be, but when all these buttheads band together for something like this, it's usually not a good sign. If you remember, just a few days ago, Sucker Punch found themselves in a bit of a pickle because they forgot to put a leash on one of their political activists. And to me, it seems like Sony made some calls. So from my understanding, these quote-unquote reviews are basically more of a marketing campaign by Sony. Now, of course, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about all this bullshit, so let's just look at the biggest bullshitter of them all. They reviewed Ghost of Yotei and gave it a solid 8, and this is what they had to say about the game. Atsu is a stronger lead character with an expanded weapon set that elevates the gameplay principles set by Tsushima. So while it may not be transforming open world games, Ghost of Yotei is a great refinement of the samurai power fantasy. And just by the way, this is what the verdict reads on their website. I mean, they can't even copy paste their own shit. But anyways, if this game is such a great refinement, why is it scored lower than Ghost of Tsushima? To be fair, Tsushima should have been given an 8 instead of a 9, but anyhow, what I was more interested in knowing was what they had to say about Atsu, so here it is. It's the new lead character Atsu who gives the wandering samurai tale a more enticing edge. It's a story far less concerned about the romanticized idea of the samurai and instead focuses on the lengths one would go to exact their exact their justice. Tsushima's protagonist, Jin, was just fine for the purpose of its story, yet he wasn't a particularly interesting lead on his own. Moving to Atsu, who's fiery and brash, gives Yotei the kind of personality it needs. Actor Erika Ishii lends their likeness and voice to Atsu and brings something that's more rough around the edges for a more believable character. She's stubborn and has trouble seeing beyond bloodlust, sometimes frustratingly so, and this right here actually tells me everything I want to know, because if that doesn't sound like a one-note insufferable girl boss played by an equally insufferable actor, I don't know what does. And of course they had to paint Jin as a bland character, because unfortunately he was just a normal dude and they just hate normal dudes. Now here's the thing. Jin was bound by honor and tradition, and the whole game focused on his internal struggle with embracing change, abolishing traditions, and going against his father figure to save his people. He sacrificed his name, his honor, his home, and his future for the greater cause. I fail to understand how he's not interesting or compelling, while Atsu, a stubborn man-child hell-bent on revenge according to his own review, actually is. But you know what? No need to take it too seriously. Because remember, IGN are the same people who gave Dragon Age the Veilguard a f***ing 9. And this is what they had to say about that game. Dragon Age the Veilguard refreshes and reinvigorates the storied series and leaves no doubt that it deserves its place in the RPG pantheon. Enjoyable action combat, a fantastic cast of allies with sweeping story arcs all their own, top-notch cinematics, and moving nuanced character writing are the wings on which this triumphant dragon soars. What a load of bullshit. And they knew it themselves as well. They knew that after this the series was dead, so they actually even tried to dress up its funeral as a big win by saying, if we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note. Now before you say, but these are different reviewers. This guy who reviewed Ghost of Yotei also reviewed South of Midnight, the game that was a massive success, just not in this universe. Or maybe any universe for that matter. And he gave that game an 8 as well, saying South of Midnight is a straightforward but well-executed action-adventure game on the surface with a simple but satisfying mix of combat and platforming. Hazel's journey is a captivating one, no matter where you come from. Yeah, so captivating, no one gave a flying f*** about Hazel or her journey. Anyways, just out of curiosity, I went ahead and looked at their Concord review, which they gave a 7 by the way, and this is what it says. Concord isn't the most innovative or content-heavy hero shooter, but with such fantastic competitive gameplay, 16 compelling characters to master, and 12 well-designed maps, it's got the makings of something that could go the distance in months and years to come. There's only one guy playing this promising shooter today. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And it's really funny how the games they love flop and the ones they hate blow up. just like Ananta, which despite all the smearing already has 13 million players signed up. Back when it was revealed, they called it a creatively bankrupt gacha game. Well, can't entirely blame them. I myself thought it was just another anime game. But anyways, now when the devs said that there will not be any gacha mechanics, these ass blisters started crying about the shocking number of people working on the game. Ananta's staff sits between 700 to 800 people, not even clear Obscure Expedition 33, a game that will likely end 2025 as a Game of the Year contender, had that many developers working on the project. Just look how they conveniently forget to mention Assassin's Creed Shadows, that had 3,000 people working on it, and they still gave that bloated mess a 4 out of 5. But anyways, the Gamer published another article where this poor soul still not sure what Ananta is, and this is actually funny. I'm aware I'm not the target audience for Ananta. I don't usually play anime games, let alone free-to-play microtransaction ridden ones. Yeah, okay. These same people have no problem with the $70 offline single-player games riddled with microtransactions that are actually pay to win. They complain about things like generic enemies and how the game does not give you a clear objective and just drops you into this open world filled with map icons. Like it's something that's not a problem with the games they celebrate. They also keep bringing up the copied mechanics like it's some kind of unforgivable sin. I mean, do you want me to list all the Western games that copy Ubisoft towers? Just for a start, no one cares. No one gives a shit about the barred mechanics if the game looks fun and is not a lecture on gender politics. But that's not all. They also accuse Ananta of being plagued with the idea that it has to appeal to everybody. Oh boy, this is bad. Because of course their buddies at Activision, EA, Ubisoft, only to name a few, have not been plagued with the exact same idea. You know what, I can't. I just can't. So let me just summarize in one sentence what they really want to say. Since Ananta isn't from our corporate buddies, actually looks fun, has no preaching, and is blowing up without our permission, we hate it. Anyways, I'll leave you at that. Do let everyone know what do you make of the Ghost of Yotei reviews, because personally I'm not buying it, in every sense of the word. Also share your thoughts about Ananta, because even though I dismissed it at first as just another anime game, now I'm really looking forward to it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care.